Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that every city, every country, every language, every family on Earth had disappeared. Not because of war, not because of disease, but because there simply weren't enough humans left to keep our species alive. It sounds impossible. But according to one scientific hypothesis, around 74,000 years ago, our species may have been pushed dangerously close to extinction. Every person alive today may descend from a remarkably small surviving population. Not millions. Not hundreds of thousands. Possibly only a few thousand or even fewer breeding individuals. If that's true, every friendship you've ever had, every book ever written, every skyscraper, every spacecraft exists because those survivors refused to disappear. So, what happened? Around 74,000 years ago, the Earth looked familiar. But it wasn't our world. There were no roads, no cities, no farms, no kingdoms. Only scattered bands of hunter-gatherers, moving across forests, rivers, coastlines, and open grasslands. Modern humans already existed. But they were still just one human species among others. Then, something extraordinary happened. On the Indonesian island of Sumatra, a supervolcano called Toba erupted. It wasn't an ordinary volcanic eruption. It was one of the largest eruptions in the last 2 million years. And it may have changed the future of humanity forever. Ash shot high into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight across vast regions of Earth. Temperatures may have dropped dramatically. Forests began to shrink. Grasslands withered. Water became harder to find. Many animals disappeared from entire regions. And wherever prey vanished, humans followed. Small tribes became isolated from one another. Families that had once migrated freely were suddenly trapped in shrinking pockets of survival. Every day became a struggle simply to stay alive. For decades, scientists debated what happened next. Then genetics revealed something unexpected. Human DNA carries a remarkable clue. Compared with chimpanzees, humans are surprisingly genetically similar to one another. Much more similar than expected for a species spread across the globe. One explanation is something called a population bottleneck. A moment when almost everyone disappears, leaving only a tiny number of survivors. Every future generation descends from them alone. It's like copying a book. After tearing out almost every page, some genetic studies suggest our effective breeding population may have fallen to astonishingly low numbers. Around 1,000 breeding individuals. Perhaps even fewer, depending on the model. That doesn't necessarily mean only 1,000 people were alive. But it does mean humanity came frighteningly close to losing its future. Imagine looking around your world, knowing every person you will ever meet could fit inside a single modern village. Every child born mattered. Every death changed humanity forever. And somehow, our ancestors endured. But there's something even more incredible than survival itself. Those survivors didn't just rebuild their numbers. They rebuilt the future of our species. Generation after generation. They crossed deserts, forests, mountains, and oceans. They adapted to freezing ice ages and scorching tropical heat. They invented better tools. They mastered fire. They learned to hunt together. They shared knowledge instead of starting over each generation. That ability changed everything. Thousands of years later, small camps became villages. Villages became cities. Cities became civilizations. We built farms, wrote languages, created mathematics, and mapped the stars above us. Every discovery stood on the shoulders of those ancient survivors. Without them, there would be no pyramids, no Great Wall, no scientific revolution, no electricity, no airplanes, no computers, no internet, no satellites orbiting Earth, no missions to the Moon or Mars. Everything humanity has ever created exists because one small population refused to vanish. Today, more than 8 billion people share this planet. Yet every one of us carries the legacy of those survivors. Their resilience lives inside your DNA. Their choices shaped every generation that followed. The exact size of that ancient bottleneck is still debated. But the evidence is clear: humanity came dangerously close to disappearing. And against overwhelming odds, we survived. Every breath you take is part of that extraordinary story. Because once, there may have been only 1,000 humans left, and from them came all of us.